All right, so in this video, I wanted to cover the top 10 sneaker releases of 2024 thus far. Obviously, there's been a lot of releases. It's been a very interesting year for sneakers, and there's definitely been some notable pairs that have released this year. This list is actually curated from Whatnot. I'm going to just kind of give my own reactions and then my own feedback and maybe some other pairs that I think should have made this list. I also reached out to you guys on Twitter, polled you guys over there, and a lot of people had some really nice suggestions over there as well. So this video is going to be sponsored by Whatnot. If you didn't know, I'm actually selling sneakers over on Whatnot again. I've had a lot of sneakers in my collection the last handful of years that just need to be purged once again. So I'm purging some of them over there. I've done 2 shows so far, sold over 140 pairs of shoes or something like that. I'm going to be doing the same thing this Thursday, the 13th, over on Whatnot, 10 a.m. PST, and then immediately following the show at 11 a.m. So it's only an hour show that I'm going to be running. But at 11 a.m., there's something special that Whatnot's going to be doing. The best of 24 for $24. So that's kind of the reason why I came up with the concept for this video, because they actually have 11 shoes that they're going to be selling over on Whatnot for only $24. If you guys are interested in signing up for Whatnot, you haven't signed up thus far, if you guys want to use my referral link in the description or in the pinned comment, it gives you $15 free credit, again, if you haven't signed up yet. I appreciate if you guys use my link for Whatnot, though. It definitely supports myself and my family when you guys do that, and lets Whatnot know that you guys rock with the channel, so greatly appreciate it. Top 10 sneakers of 2024. They actually have 11 of them listed that they're going to be selling for $24. And so for the 11th spot, I would say that the Kobe 4 Pro Tro Philly colorway would probably be the 11th spot. No, this is just my personal ranking of what they have as their top 11 pairs. I think the Philly colorway is nice, but I feel like there's other colorways that definitely have like a higher tiering from the releases this year. And so for the number 10 spot, I would say that the Galaxy KD4 would be one of the contenders for the top 10 of the year. This is an iconic pair, obviously from the Galaxy pack, one of the most iconic basketball packs to ever release. You had Kobe's, you had LeBron's, you had the Foamposites, and then the KD's. They also had a bunch of other ones like some Dunks. And actually right around that time is when I first started this YouTube channel, so it's pretty crazy. But the Galaxy KD4s are very iconic, and I just recently did a video on the Weatherman 4s as well, another pair that I absolutely love. I personally can't wait for the Nerfs. I think the Nerf will take in the top 10 spot for myself by the end of the year. Number 9 spot for myself would be the Kobe 6 Pro Tro Italian Camo. This is a really solid colorway. Obviously, it's a retro that they brought back, and I never had the original one of these. Never really cared for the original one of them. The Kobe 6 is actually pretty decent as well. This is a really solid colorway though, and definitely one that people gravitate towards. The original release of the Italian Camo came out in 2011, and Kobe lived in Italy for 7 years. So it's nice that they brought this one back. The resale market is sitting around $350 depending on the size. So the number 8 spot on the list would actually go to a Kobe 8 as well. I would say that the Venice Beach colorway would be the 8th spot for myself. This is one of the pairs that I actually reviewed the original ones on my channel, again, years and years ago, so it's fun to be able to see them bring this one back. It had a lot more hype this time around. I struck out on a pair of them, but I did get them for the kids, so at least the kids had their fill. The Venice Beach colorway originally came out in 2013, and obviously it draws inspiration from Venice Beach. Obviously, we have a lot of Kobe's on the list, the 4s, 6s, and 8s. I feel like the 8s are probably the better of the 3 models, but you guys leave a comment in the comment section. Which is your favorite Kobe model to release? Because they have a whole bunch of them that look very, very similar, but also have like constant improvements to them. And all of them are still like on-court ready stuff. You see all of the like NBA players wearing Kobe's still to this day. So it's definitely a model that's definitely stood the test of time. So the number 7 spot of the top 10 sneakers of 2024 thus far goes to the Air Jordan 1 Low OG SP, the Travis Scott Canary colorway specifically. This Canary colorway actually I think looks really good. My grade school colors were blue and gold, like I said, blue and yellow. I think this colorway actually looks really nice. It doesn't get a lot of love comparison to the other ones, and maybe this is some insight into the future when they're going to be releasing more of the Travis 1 Lows. Maybe we're going to see more colorways dip under that $500 price point. Honestly, I'd welcome it. I think this one looks actually pretty nice, so it looks very summer ready, but obviously it's inspired off of his school colors, and if you guys saw the videos online, basically he actually gave all of the students that are graduating from his high school a pair of these shoes for free, and I think that is pretty awesome. It's small gestures like that really solidify the like placement of this shoe in my opinion. Even though it's not going to be for everybody, it still is an Air Jordan 1 Low, and it is a Travis Scott signatured reverse swoosh on it, and it is what it is. I do think that the hype has definitely died down on the Air Jordan 1, obviously, and even the Air Jordan 1 Low. You can actually buy the Shadow Lows in full size run right now over on Nike's website, which is nuts. I think that's a great shoe. Definitely like 3 years ago, that one would have sold out instantly and be selling for $400. But in today's market, it's nice to be able to see some nice shoes coming out and not having the overall like hype around it, which is kind of a plus. All right, so the number 6 spot would go to the Jordan Jumpman Jack Sail colorway. This is the Cactus Jack Travis Scott pair as well. It's kind of like an original model from what it sounds like from Travis Scott and Jordan Brand. And honestly, I've been wanting to get my hands on a pair of these. I haven't got them yet. But I think the model looks really solid. It looks like a retro model for sure, done in the best way possible. And I think that the color blocking of this one specifically looks really good. They have a couple other ones that look really solid as well. But honestly, this is one of those shoes that I've been wanting to get. I just haven't got my hands on them yet. I think it's top 10 contender. I know other people will disagree, but it is what it is. So bringing us into the top 5, the number 5 spot would go to, in my mind, the Nike Kobe 8 Protro Mambacita. This is obviously a Gigi inspired pair. It says Gigi on the back. And also they've been doing this since like would have been her 16th birthday. So I love that they're like doing this annual tradition of this model. I have 2 of the 3 so far. It makes me want to go back and get the 4s as well, because it's just a collection that I would love to collect and just honor her existence with. I think the butterflies have a nice little pattern on the upper as well. And I got a pair of these for my daughter also, which as she grows up, she'll understand the significance of them. But a very, very cool pair, and number 5 in my mind. So the number 4 spot of the best sneakers of 2024 thus far, I would say Trophy Room Air Jordan 1 Retro Low OG. And this is the rookie card colorway. And honestly, the rookie card, very, very iconic. As a card collector myself as well. Obviously, the Jordan rookie card is like super, super sought after. I never got one. I had like the 3rd year Jordan or something like that card back in the day. But the rookie card one is super special. And I love the theming around it, the box and everything. I think the overall execution looks really, really solid. I don't typically love the Trophy Room collaborations after all the scandals from the high tops and the backdooring and everything. Salty old man over here, because I was like, I wanted a pair of those. But honestly, they've made some really, really dope stuff. It's Michael Jordan's son. What do you expect? It's going to be pretty fire. And I think that they did a great job on this one. So in my mind, it deserves a spot in the countdown. Definitely one of those shoes that I'm kind of like, I wish I got that one. And who knows, maybe I'll pull the trigger on the open market. They're only going for like 370s or so right now in my size. So that's actually pretty decent. Very, very surprised by that. But I feel like if the market was hot, this would be like a $700 or $800 shoe. But I'm happy that it's not a crazy hot market right now. It gives me a little bit more opportunity to be able to make some purchases of the things that I want. All right, so the number 3 spot on the list of best sneakers 2024 thus far, I would say the Air Jordan 4 Retro. A military blue colorway definitely is one of the ones that should be a top contender. The quality was really decent. I think some people didn't really like the color blocking of them. It was darker than the older pairs. But the overall materials were actually pretty nice as well. It's a super clean colorway, very summer ready, very wearable. And it's an Air Jordan 4. And even though the hype is dying down on the Air Jordan 4s as well, it's an OG colorway done with the OG detailing, something that we haven't seen in any of the previous retros. So love to see the Nike Air branding on them and just the true to form nature of the shoe. Definitely a top contender for one of the best this year. And in my mind, it's still the ugliest colorway of the Air Jordan 4 in the original colorways, but that's only because the other ones are god tier mode, like for the Air Jordan models. So wanted to throw that out there if anybody saw my review video of those. So the number 2 spot on the countdown, I would give it to the Futura Nike SB Dunks. I feel like this model definitely had a ton of hype coming into it, and it's a model that I think lived up to the hype as well. I think the color blocking is great. Futura is a graffiti artist. If you didn't know, he's done Nike SB collaborations in the past. He did a collab with Converse as well. I sold a pair of them that I had over on Whatnot for like a super steal price. But he's had some really solid collaborations in the past. There was a little teaser of some Off-White Futura versions. I don't know if it was just friends and family or if they just scrapped it or what, and then they just released a Futura version instead. But they kind of had a similar sort of vibe. They look great. It's the shoe that I definitely want. Sad that I missed out on the retail side, but it gave a little bit of a jump start to the Nike SB line once again this year. We've been kind of cold there since the Nike Dunk line has been cold, just in general, which I personally love because I'm just a fan of Nike Dunks anyway. So it's nice to see some GRs sitting for, $50, $60 or whatever online again. But the Futura ones, I think, is probably the best pair that has released this year, and definitely one of the ones that will probably maintain in that top 10 list through the end of the year. So we made it this far. If you guys liked the video so far, drop a like on the video. And if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. If you guys want to sign up for Whatnot, where they're going to be giving away all of these shoes for $24, link in the description. It will take you over to Whatnot, and it will give you guys $15 free credit, again, if you haven't signed up yet. Also, after the number 1, I'll give you guys some runner-ups in my personal opinion that should have made the list. For the number 1 spot out of the list of 11 that they had, I would say that the Air Jordan 4 Bread Reimagined would be the number 1 spot in my opinion. The main reason is because obviously the Bread Air Jordan 4, super iconic. This one is done with leather though, but it's also full grain leather, top grain leather. Like, it's actually really nice quality. Some people didn't like the quality of the military blue 4s. I feel like the Bread Reimagined in leather is higher quality than the military blues, but I think they did a great job on the reimagined version. And it's definitely one of those pairs that if you copped them now, I think you're going to be thankful in like 3 or 4 years. They released like an OG colorway done in a reimagined form that was almost better than the original, some may say. I mean, Nubuck has their own challenges like material wise, but the leather is really, really solid on these ones, and the overall execution was very, very good as well. Out of the 11 that they had there for their best of 24 for $24, that's the ranking that I had them, but leave a comment if you guys agree or disagree with my ranking. As for some runner-ups, honestly, there's a couple of them that come to mind. First of all, the Adidas Shell Toe TMNT. I think that one was absolutely amazing. The theming of that package was super, super solid, and one of the top 10 for me for the year for sure. Also, you can't really talk about the sneakers of this year without mentioning the Adidas AE1s. That model is really one that we've seen for the first time in many years that's really garnered the hype of like that, you know, the Galaxy Foamposite sort of era of basketball where you had it on court, off court. There was a ton of hype around it. The publicity was great. Unfortunately, they didn't have a lot of pairs available. They didn't have a lot of colorways. I don't think Adidas knew that this would be as successful of a shoe as it was, and it really makes me curious to see what they're going to be doing for the second version. But honestly, it's one of those moments where like they made a handful of colorways here and there of the AE1s, and pretty much all of them had great storytelling, and I feel like that might be the sneaker of the year in general, just because of all of the hype around it. But I do feel like Adidas and Ant-Man deserve their flowers because it was an amazing pair. Also, I reached out to you guys on Twitter, and a lot of people said the AE1s as well, Bread Reimagined. Some people said Military 4s as well, and then other people mentioned the Harden Volume 8s, which again is a very, very good sneaker. DJ Monte Carlo, shout out to you, man. You also mentioned the Balvin 3 Rios, and I believe that's a top 10 contender as well. That is a very, very nice colorway. Obviously, the gimmick that they had with the $25,000 bot checkout thing was awesome, but that is one that I need to see in person, but I feel like that is a really solid colorway as well. And the Hidden Asics Gel NYCs, another big, big one. I feel like that's a top 10. Shout out to Steve, Partyboy310 over on Twitter for that one as well. I also personally like the Latte Air Jordan 1 Highs. I think that is a tremendously great colorway. I love the KD4 Weathermans as well. And then there's the Joe Freshgood New Balance 1000s, I think is a solid competitor as well for top contender of the year. But those are kind of some runner-ups that I thought of for you guys. Leave a comment in the comment section. Which pair do you guys think is the #1 spot, #2 spot, #3 spot for 2024? I feel like Whatnot's doing some really cool stuff over there. The fact that they're doing a live show to give away the top 11 pairs for 24 bucks, I'm really, really curious to see how it's going to run. But again, I'm going to be running my live show an hour before that at 10 a.m. PST for anybody that wants to join. I gave away a bunch of stuff here and there as well. Have a bunch of Supreme and Kith t-shirts and stuff that I have through the years that I'm going to be selling, as well as some of the sneakers from my personal collection. So hopefully I'll see you guys over there. I'm going to be running one show every week for the next 3 weeks still. So I'm really excited to purge out this room a little bit, cleared up enough space so I can actually have an open wall back here for kind of a different view of the sneaker room. So excited to be able to do something like that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching, and hopefully see you back on the channel for some more sneaker content very soon. All right, peace guys. And shout out to anybody that saw that fly buzzing around the room. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to edit him out. Dude is a giant, big old fly. And of course, he's just buzzing around here, right? Anyway, have a good one.